let us rethink old assumptions and open our hearts and minds to possible and possibilities. And finally, I ask the leaders of the region, political and religious, Israeli and Palestinian, Jewish and Christian and Muslim, to join us in the noble quest for lasting peace. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Israel. God bless the Palestinians. And God bless the United States. God bless the United States.
BAFFLEGAB. 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 Definition: incomprehensible or pretentious language, especially bureaucratic jargon.
Alright, welcome to BAFFLEGAB. I'm Lenny Thompson.
Lenny, I hope to God that you are doing a Bernie Sanders impression.
No.
Not making fun of the President of the United States.
I am making fun of the president, believe it or not.
Why?
Well, because...
He got another victory!
Oh.
Yes, we got Gorsuch over the summer, but now he is 2 for 2 if you're only counting victories with the tax cut bill. It's going through. Finally, America is great again. The horror that was under Obama, where the corporate tax rate was too high thanks to Obama's extension of the Bush tax cuts, is now going to be lowered thanks to the businessman-in-chief himself.
Well, before we get into
saving over $1 trillion, I believe, for businesses, right? And $200 billion for individuals, most of which I believe is the middle class who really hates.
I dispute these numbers, but before we get into that, I want to just outline what a jam-packed show we have for you today. Of course, I'm Lenny Thompson on the liberal side of the equation.
And I am Ralph Wigglesworth, here to give you a little more reasonable reason to believe in the right.
That was very labored. But anyway, jam-packed show. We are going to be talking about Donald Trump's peculiar slurring of his words there, and of course, the tax bill, the thing that's on everyone's mind.
Right.
And
as it should be.
We will get it in.
You're getting money for Christmas. Merry Christmas, America. It's great again.
After that, we'll be getting into Franken and the sexual harassment apocalypse.
Really? It's interesting you're not going to run away from this story.
Well,
I applaud you, Lenny.
And then we also have a story, is hugging still okay in the wake of the Weinsteins and the Frankens? We'll get into it.
But first, we got to talk about the tax cut. Now, it's just got to make its way through the committee and then on the president's desk. Now, he's used to signing executive orders, but here's the thing. The signature works for bills as well.
Okay, well, look. And
it's going to be working on this
We
bill.
have to address the elephant in the room. What the hell was up with that clip that we heard in the cold open there? Is Donald Trump, is it his dentures coming off? Why doesn't he have dental implants? Is it a more systemic health problem? Is he losing some motor function? What's going on?
His throat is dry.
Well, no.
I don't know why we're spreading conspiracy theories here. Well, this is not a fake news podcast. His throat was dry.
It is not a fake news podcast.
That's what it sounds like when your throat is dry. Yes, you're making it one.
Well, some dentists...
That's what I'm here to keep things on track.
Well, some dentists, Ralph, people who have more qualifications in this area than you do, they think that perhaps it is dentures. Loose dentures that is causing this slur.
Well, you'll know, Lenny, that I actually was going to go to dental school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that...
Once I flunked out of med school, I then was considering dental school, and then I decided to just be a business major.
Well, that sounds about right.
With an economics, finance, and marketing minor.
Wow. How can I say I'm not surprised in so many words? Anyway.
Well, it's no animal husbandry or whatever your major was.
Hey, that is a legitimate field where there's actual science being done, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our livestock, it's in the name, it's our livelihood.
So do you wear a glove when you're holding the... Or
Stop trying to distract from DentureGate. Because that's what people are calling this, DentureGate. And there's a story in rawstory.com today where a dentist seems to suspect that this is a result of our president having too many veneers, aka a solid, hard substance that makes your teeth look white that you affix to your teeth for it's supposed to last 10 to 20 years. Donald Trump.
Why would he not have white teeth?
Well, he barely didn't because he had to get veneers, and as I said,
Says who? Who says
this
he got
dentist.
veneers? This dentist.
This dentist.
Did he do it?
No, this dentist's name is Dr. Terry Shapiro, and he has not treated Trump.
Wait, Terry Shapiro, the poor lady that the liberals killed.
That's Terry Schiavo. That's right.
There we go. More fake news. Terry Shapiro back from the dead to report on the president's teeth.
That's a different show. That's a different show. But Shapiro pointed readers to a 2015 story by the Daily Beast's Ciro Scotti, who mentioned another dentist on the Upper East Side.
Oh boy, one dentist, as another dentist said.
The dentists know each other. They talk, okay? And, the dentist that this guy knew, he confided in the other dentist, Shapiro, that he worked for Donald Trump. One of his clients was Donald Trump. And Trump would come in every 6 months, insisting that his veneers weren't white enough.
So this guy wasn't doing a good job.
Well, he was doing a good job, but these are supposed to last.
I'm shocked that Donald Trump wasn't getting a better deal, that he keeps going back to this guy to get new veneers every 6 months. He's not just finding a dentist who gives him the best deal and gets it done right the first time.
But here's the thing about veneers. As I said earlier, it's a layer of hard white resin that dentists glue to the front of a patient's tooth to make it appear whiter.
It's also that Donald Trump likes things very white, so it's not very surprising that he has to have these things very white. That you can't get it white enough for this man.
Well, as I said, it's supposed to last 10 to 20 years, and here's why. Because when you remove a veneer, it damages the tooth laying underneath it. So Trump was going back twice a year, changed his veneers twice a year, and that may be why he has dentures.
So this man ruined the president's teeth, is what you're saying.
Well, the White House says, maybe it was dry mouth. I don't really know.
His throat was dry.
No, I think we need to know if Trump has dentures because he's never admitted as such. The White House won't say that's the case because you know what? We need to know if Donald Trump is a liar or not.
No, they said his throat was dry, and this is what it sounds like when a man's throat is dry. You say, that's how you talk when your throat is dry.
Look, I did my fair amount of drug smoking in college, as you know, Ralph, and I never spoke like that when I had the dry mouth after smoking a few too many hoobie doobies,
I am not aware of this, Lenny.
Of course you wouldn't.
But when I go for my early morning runs, someday I can come back to the house and I'm a little out of breath. And I, say to my wife, I say, I love you and I love the United States. Yeah. And it comes out like that. Well, it's very reasonable.
Well, maybe, it's actually a deeper issue. Maybe Trump, we know he has mental health problems, but maybe it's more serious than we thought.
That he may have dentures. You think the president is some 70-year-old old guy who's got dentures? This man, no.
He's not, he doesn't seem like the healthiest guy, I gotta say.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. I mean, come on. The guy, he doesn't believe in exercise. He doesn't want to waste his, man energy, his alpha seed. He doesn't want to waste it. So he doesn't work out. He eats like shit.
His doctor said that if he became president, he would, by his account, be the most healthiest president of all time, ever, that there's ever been of the United States or anywhere. There's no Russian czar that is more healthy than Donald Trump.
Well, Putin, maybe.
Putin is balding. That's not healthy. That's gross.
Well, have you seen a photo of him shirtless?
Yes, I have.
Hunting bears?
It could be steroids, just like the Russians who just got kicked out of the Olympics for doing too much steroids. So I wouldn't trust that at all. Donald Trump is actually a very healthy man, and he does it naturally.
Oh, come on.
Naturally, by staying active. He's always down. He's always giving rallies, and by eating right. And one of the ways that he eats right is he goes to McDonald's and he throws away the buns. I think this election broke your brains. You're supposed to be the smart, reasonable. Oh, we're the ones who do yoga and all that stuff and do dog pose while we eat a smoothie and all this. And we're vegan or whatever. But Trump, you're looking at the portrait of a healthy alpha Wolfpack leader. He's the anti-cuck. And let me tell you why. because when he's eating McDonald's, which you pick on him so much for, and the KFC, that's pure meat. That's good. He's getting protein. This is a part of a paleo sort of diet, but it's low carb. So what he does is he throws out the bun. And listen, Lenny, maybe if you won't believe me, you'll listen to someone who is on TV.
And the president would order for dinner 2 Big Macs, 2 filet-of-fish sandwiches, and a chocolate milkshake, and eat all of that. Were you concerned about him?
Well, he never ate the bread, which is the important part. So it was really just, it was a couple of fish sandwiches and a couple of pieces of meat and a drink. And, was I concerned? No. He was so busy campaigning, we didn't have time to sit down for a meal.
There you go. Corey Lewandowski, thanks so much. The book again, Let Trump Be Trump. Great to talk to you.
So you hear that, Lenny? This is the actions of a smart businessman. Let me pull out the whiteboard here. Let me show you. So
The BAFFLEGAB whiteboard is back out. Great.
right, so you have a Big Mac meal, right? Big Mac meal, that's $8.95, right? But that's going to get you a large fry and a large Coke. Now, no one drinks a large Coke. We all know that. It's mostly ice anyway. So he's cutting that out. Fries, that's empty calories. He's cutting that out. So he's ordering just 2 Big Macs, just the sandwiches. Well, that's $6. So you're up to $12 now, right? But he's throwing away the buns. You can't order him just the buns and take off that price. Obviously, if he was going to go there himself and had the time, he's a great deal maker. He'd be able to talk the cashier out of, hey, just charge me $4.95 for just the meat. You keep the bun, put that extra on another Big Mac behind there.
It's kind of wasteful, too.
Where he lives in America, Lenny, we can afford to throw things out.
Yeah,
so you got the fish fillet. That's off the dollar menu, right? So that's $2 right there. So now he's got 4 sandwiches. He's up to $14.95. It costs $16 to get a 2 Big Mac meal. The fries you're not going to eat, and the drink you're going to throw away. Well, he's already got little mini Diet Cokes on the plane, right? On Trump Force One.
Wow.
Already, right? And then plus, he's adding in a little chocolate shake because you got to treat yourself sometimes, right?
Of course.
So that's $3.95. I don't know what we're up to now here.
Obviously, Ralph is not the businessman.
Look, the point is, he gets straight to the meat. You know who else gets to the meat? Congress, like they just did with the tax bill.
All right, do we really have to talk about
We
this?
do have to talk about this, unless you want to keep comparing our president to the first president, George Washington, who also had dentures. Yet that wasn't a problem. Why is it a problem now if a guy has dentures?
Well, there's something to be said about the current technology versus that of the 18th century, but we'll save that for another episode.
What are you trying to say, Lenny?
George Washington had wooden dentures. Today, we can have full-on dental transplants.
And I believe George Washington also had slave teeth in his mouth, as was covered in episode 7, Good Night, All Right.
All right, well, Donald Trump
Or the episode after that, I believe.
If Donald Trump was the first president, I'm sure he'd have plenty of slaves. But all right, let's get to
He
the
may be the
tax
first
bill.
president of Great America. The United States of Great America.
He's the first president of this particular period of American history.
But
potentially.
this is, I think, could be a whole new direction of America called Great America.
Yeah. Is this
United
like the
States of
Roman
Great
Republic
America.
to the Roman Empire? Like
Right.
Trump's the last president and his son is going to become like Trump Augustus or something?
Ooh, well, his sons are dumb, but Baron Trump, wouldn't
Yeah.
that be neat?
Yeah, I know.
President is so healthy he could live long enough and then pass the torch off to Baron Trump. Now, this is interesting, Lenny. Now, we might as well be damn Dan Carlin with hardcore history.
Yeah,
We're covering some future events here.
And by, 300 years from now, they're going to be like the Habsburgs and just incest.
Oh, come on now.
Having their gene pool degraded to the point where...
There is nothing about the Trump family that would imply incest.
All right, well,
How dare you, Lenny? There is nothing in that family that would imply that they want to have sex with each other.
Well, web toes aside, let's get to the meat of the show, the tax bill.
Right, let's get into it. We have passed a tax bill. It's going to be great. We got rid of Obamacare. Fetus personhood is in this. This is very exciting times. Now, see, here's the problem. The rich, who I am friends with and am slowly becoming through my investments.
Good friends.
We're very scared under Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Because Obama extended the Bush tax cuts, and there was always this threat of that he's going to come after Wall Street because he's a secret Marxist, and any day now he's going to take off his mask and reveal who he is, But that didn't happen. Now Trump has swooped in, and he is now making huge tax cuts, getting rid of a lot of silly deductions. We're going to be able to fill out our taxes on a postcard. This is going to be great. Unfortunately, it's going to raise this deficit a little bit, so we're going to have to do some cuts later on. But that's something we're going to get to I think, as it comes up.
Because Republicans really care about the deficit. Every time the Democrats are in power, it's, oh, we can't pay for that because of the deficit. Oh, why don't you care about the deficit, Democrats?
They do.
Why are you fiscally responsible stewards of the economy like us, Republican adults in the room?
Right. I agree.
Well, obviously, we've seen that that's complete horseshit, and they don't actually care about the deficit.
Do you judge a party by a single bill, Lenny? Because this is only one part of the plan,
Are you
right?
kidding me? This is the Republicans, like...
We have to get rid of Social Security and Medicaid next.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Medicare,
Because,
right?
well, yeah, we won't have any money.
Exactly. So we have to cut this back, right? These are
Yeah.
all the big parts of the plan. I knew that you wouldn't listen to me, Lenny. That's why I brought in a Republican donor who was brave enough to come here and stand up
So brave.
to you.
Okay,
Right? A lot of these debates happen behind closed doors because the left is rude. As
Yeah.
you saw with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer didn't even show up. That is rude. They don't even want to have these debates. So you're lucky that this Republican donor is taking time out of his day to meet with you, Lenny.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's been in my hallway criticizing my choice of artwork, so I'm aware that he's here. All right.
So Lenny, please welcome Mr. Red Kinder. Now he is the, well, I'll just let him introduce himself.
Okay. All right.
Now, let me get down here now.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
You got a lot of nice posters out there, don't you, boy?
Yeah.
You got about time to take down that Hillary Clinton one, huh?
Yeah. She lost. I know.
Huh? Quite a tongue on that woman. Didn't use it much, but she had quite a tongue on that one.
Oh,
and a
this is
woman's... But what? Then a Woman's Day poster. A lot of cold dinners that day, huh?
Yes,
now, Lenny?
I have a Women's March poster by Shepard Fairey, who did the Obama Hope Yes We Can Change poster, whatever it was.
Oh, Shepard Fairey, huh? He ought to go back down to the sheep farm, huh?
Yeah.
Got that boy quit writing on walls.
You are just full of quips, I gotta say. Let's see something in the water down there in Texas.
Oh, that's all about that, about the bayou we're talking.
Bayou, yeah, okay.
So, Mr. Kinder, would you please just give a little background for the audience here? I'm Rick Kinder. I've been in the business all my life. I'm head right now of the Breckenridge Group LLC, one of our most profitable holdings is Sunshine Oil and Mining Conglomerate.
Yeah, that sounds really vague. So what do you do exactly?
What I do is money, and I do it very well.
Okay.
Now, see, I'm very tickled. I'm here to talk about the tax bill. Now, most of the donors, we went away from you liberal types. You don't know how to debate. Don't know how to debate. Ain't one for conversation.
Yeah.
And now I know what it's like to debate. Just a few weeks ago, I remember I called Mitch McConnell. I said, Mitch, you better stop playing footsie with the Democrats and get this bill passed. And I made him cry. You ever seen Mitch McConnell cry?
I would love to.
It's a
no.
sight. It's quite a sight. He'd cry in the bed. Here's what I do. I go down there. Mm-hmm. Now, they're always shocked when you go down there because they know he must have gotten in his airplane, flown it half the way, and then had a helicopter fly him in because I don't want the germs from that pilot. You know, you don't trust the pilots all the time. And so I get in there, and I'm sitting in his office, and I sit in his chair. So
McConnell's chair.
Yeah, so when he comes back down from the mess hall cafeteria where all the senators eat, I'm sitting in his chair smoking my cigar, and he comes in and he goes, "Well, Mr. Kinder," and I say, "You're damn right," and I put my cigar out right in the middle of his desk. I say, "Fuck it, it's a $5,000 desk. I know that's a nice desk. Now he's got to buy a new one."
Wow. You're really cool.
I said,
Red. You sound great.
I don't know what that means, but I say, I bet you're gonna need $5,000 to buy a new cherry wood desk, aren't you, bitch?
Cherry wood, yeah.
And he looks at me. He knows what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm gonna write him a check. I'm gonna write him a check by the end of the year, right? He's gonna get his bonus if I get what I want. And what I want is a tax cut bill. Anyway, cut to an hour later, he's there. He's giving me a foot massage. And I say, "Suck on my big toe, bitch." He starts a sucking. And I go, "Now, I want you to go all the way down to the pinky toe." And he goes, "Well, all right." And I go, "I bet I'm asking for too much, am I, Mitch?" He goes, no, you're not asking for too much. He says in that little whiny voice, you're not asking for too much. However he talks. Anyway, long story short, we passed a tax bill.
Yeah, with scribbled notes in the margins.
Well, there are some scribble notes in the margin. I think Red will get to that. But
some last minute changes, you might say, written by lobbyists.
So, Lenny, what are some of your complaints with it? I mean,
where to start? What are some of my complaints?
Money to the middle class.
Please, give me a fucking break. It's going to cut the, nominal tax rate, which is not the effective tax rate. It's going to cut it to 20%. So we're talking about, 13%.
Oh, some boy was forced to take econ as a prereq in college.
That's right. I'm a college boy. Basically, long story short, not to get too technical, it is going to, redistribute money from the middle class and working class up to the wealthy. It's essentially corporate welfare.
Now, let me ask you a little question. Now, I've just hurt your brain. Just let me know. Where do you think the middle class gets that money now? Middle class has money. Where are they getting that money?
Well, there's not much of a middle class anymore, sir, because it's been eroded by years of people like you attacking labor and the minimum wage and the social safety net.
Oh, there's a growing bottom class.
Yeah, a bottom class.
Growing bottom class right now, right?
Any money. It has no benefits, no retirement, no paid sick leave.
Where's all the welfare going to then?
What welfare?
Mr. Lenny, where's all the welfare going to?
In the 90s, if you recall, Bill Clinton, son of Hope, Arkansas himself, cut welfare, ended welfare as we know it. And if you look at
Billy Clinton is a bastard Texas. He's a bastard Arkansas boy now.
Yeah. Are you from the Texarkana region? You have a grudge?
I was born in a small hut on a bayou. And see, what my pappy used to do was he would farm on another farmer's land. He was given a little as a stipend of an acre, and every season he'd get an acre more, And, some summers I was born, we were middle class, right above middle class. And so some falls and winters we didn't have any food. If nothing would grow.
Say it ain't so.
But then one day, my pappy had the foresight, and he done struck oil, and that was the birth of Sunshine Oil and Mining Conglomerate, which is now merged into Breckenridge Group LLC and our holding company, which involves over 150 different corporations, which will all be now given a tax cut, which we will pass on down to the middle class who works for these. Now, I travel the world, so these tax cuts, they're not affecting Americans. You can go on all your big talking about America, but this affects the world. I was just in Bangladesh, and let me tell you, there's lots of women in those factories that are trying to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and these tax cuts are going to help me to do that. I got money I can now pass on down to them.
Yeah, if only the working poor all had an oil field in their backyard, we could really just get rid of this problem altogether.
Well, maybe there is more oil, and we're going to find it now that we are going to be able to drill in the Arctic. There's another thing in this tax bill. It's a very expensive bill.
Yeah. So
there will be more oil dug. I don't see the point of that one.
So you're a Republican donor. Let me ask you. This isn't so much tax reform as
I like to call it Republican owner.
Yeah.
Because they're my bitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, this is a pretty clear redistribution from the bottom to the top. It's not so much reform because you're not closing loopholes hardly at all.
Now, what am I going to do with that money, Lynn?
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I'm going to spend that money. I have a private jet, right?
What are you going to do? A stock buyback or something?
Well, I have a private jet.
Okay, which you're going to get a tax break for.
I may sell a stock. I may sell my investments. You never know. I tell you this. Before this, with the estate tax, all of us donors got together and we said, what you ought to do is when you're on your deathbed, before the priest comes in and say, do you renounce Satan? You say, I renounce Satan, and I also renounce all my earnings. Don't give them to my bastard children. Because I don't want the estate tax getting it.
Oh, yeah.
But that's another thing I don't have to worry about now.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye to the estate tax.
Yeah, and, it's such a drag on the economy, this estate tax. You doing okay there, Red? I know that you're an oil man. You have a lot of exposure to oil. And
you're just getting me heated up here with all your nonsense.
Yeah. So, you basically want...
Now, I'll be honest with you, also, this is why a lot of us rich folk must live in a penthouse, must live on the top of the building, because... air down here is terrible, you poor people. Just awful, make me feel sick.
Yeah, it's so much better on the plains of Texas, where you're from, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, look, the estate tax is something that the Republicans have been trying to repeal since, essentially Barry Goldwater era. And what it would do is create a new landed aristocracy. Is that what you want? Do you want to be an aristocrat? Is that what you want your children to be? I thought this country was about grit and determination and pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. But here, you want to give a giveaway. You want to just have your heirs take your money, no tax, no penalty. Yeah, just take it. I thought you had a hardscrabble upbringing. Don't you want your offspring to build themselves up in the same way you proclaim you did?
Lenny, you are cutting pretty deep right now because my son has been a disappointment to me since the day that he was born.
Shocker.
And I do not want my money just wasted going to him. And now that is something that I've tried to raise him right. And so I have told him on several occasions that I do not love him and all I can provide for him is money.
And he is upset with that, or he wants the love?
I do not know because he always runs out of the room, all right? But my father gave me a lot of money when he founded Sunshine Oil and Mining Conglomerates, and now I feel that it's my duty to pass that on to my son, right? Now, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. When I was born, I only had one pair of pants, and they were not a good pair of pants. They were an off-brand, and I was made fun of at school. I will never forget that. I will always make sure that I've always on-brand clothing.
With some G-Mart jeans or something like that. Whatever you guys have down in Texas, I don't really know. But you know what? Here's the
But you're right. We have tried to get rid of the estate tax for a long time. I've had many a big toe sucked by many a senators, whip minority, whip majority, all sucking each of my big toe that I had to let go because they could not do that for me.
Well, here's what I think. I think that the rich in this country are getting some breaks. They're essentially being subsidized and privileged by the tax code, and they paid to do it by giving campaign contributions to these Republicans. And I want you to meet one of the people that you will be taking the food out of their mouth.
Lenny, what
one
are
of
you
the
doing?
people who you personally, sir, because
Lenny, you are
you
not
want a
respecting
tax
red.
break on your private jet. One of the people who have to suffer because of your excess. I met a graduate student outside of NYU smoking a cigarette. He looked like he was homeless, and I thought he might need a warm place to stay at night, and he is outraged.
Mr. Kinder, you can leave. You don't have to answer these questions.
No. You're not leaving. You're not going anywhere.
I'll stay. I got a meeting coming up, but I can stay for this to hear one of our fine students of liberal academia here wants to speak to me. That's fine. Tell him to pull up a seat.
All right.
But my company gives job. Now, before he sits down, I want to show you on this napkin here how this tax bill is going to work. You see this upswing?
Yeah.
Well, that's my earnings right there. Now, here, I'll show you another thing. I had my drive on the way over here stop at an ATM. Mm-hmm. You see how this, count how many digits that is for me, Lily?
9.
That's 9 digits across. By this time next year, hopefully that will be 10 digits across. And now that money is going to trickle down. Now, did you see this curve right here? This is the money trickling down to all the workers I'm going to employ with that money. Now, if this grad student wants to get a job, maybe he wants to clean my private jet or suck my left big toe, well, he will be compensated for such. He also, right now, I had one of our sweatshops in Bangladesh done caught on fire, so we got a lot of dust and body parts that need to be shoveled. If he would like a job, $5 an hour, which is the maximum wage at my factories in Bangladesh, I would be happy to have him.
All right, well, we'll see what he thinks about that. Graduate.
Where'd I put out this cigar? I'm gonna put it out right here on your table.
We don't smoke in New York City.
Lenny, let's respect his culture.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Well, I want you boys now to hurry up. I just got word that I got a factory of child laborers in Bangladesh where they sew a t-shirt for H&M that says good vibes only is currently on fire.
Oh, no.
I gotta go sort that out now.
Okay.
And a week ago, these children were talking about forming a council, so I gotta go make a lesson out of whoever's leading this.
Okay. Well, before we get to
Now that's business. You hear that, Lenny? That's how business works.
It's business. Before we get to that business, so especially the debate I would like to have between this heartless GOP donor and a good, hardworking graduate student, we have to give you a message from our sponsor this week.
This episode of BAFFLEGAB is brought to you by Sherri's Berries, the only at-home fecal microbiota transplant. Do you suffer from a gastrointestinal condition? Tired of doctors trying to convince you to get an expensive fecal transplant operation? Well, guess what, dipshit? Have we got a solution for you? Sherri's Berries are the only freeze-dried dingleberries available on the market delivered straight to your door. The berries are partial bits of healthy fecal matter created using our patented scatological home antibiotic resistance remedy instigator, or Sherri for short. Simply insert the complimentary rectum nozzle directly into your anus, load the berries, and open wide. Before you know it, you'll be shitting like nobody's business. It's just that easy. So what are you waiting for? Unleash the awesome power of poop today. Sherri's Berries. They're dingleberries, you dingus.
All right, we're back. BAFFLEGAB. In the studio, we have a graduate student from NYU. His name is Derek Fisher, and I think he might disagree with you, Red, about the impacts of this tax bill. Derek?
I think we should also reintroduce, distinguished businessman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't give him his proper title.
You did not.
Okay.
Owner of, he's the CEO of Brookard Ridge LLC, which is currently a holding company. One of their biggest businesses is the Sunshine Oil and Mining Conglomerate. Mr. Red Kinder is here. Red.
Applause.
Now, hold on. Now, I can actually stay a little bit longer to debate. It turns out the situation in Bangladesh has settled itself.
How's that?
They all died.
Oh, great. Oh, that's great, Red. Derek, you disagree with Red. You're a graduate student. This tax bill, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, man. So, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys, and thanks for the smoke. They're really expensive.
Of course.
But yeah, so Derek Fisher. So I'm a doctoral student in liberal media studies with a focus in cultural appropriation. And over here at NYU, and my research has examined all the ways in which media are racist.
Very important work.
Now, how many ways have you found?
We're at 372.
370 ways. Now, this guy gonna be a doctor of TV.
Yes.
Hey, my TV's sick. I better call Derek Fisher. Is that what you're gonna do, Derek?
I don't know. So,
the job market's crazy right now. You can't ask him.
Now, let me tell you. Now, I owned a TV company for a while. I had a big stake in Zenith. I done sold it because ain't no TV money no more. It's all Netflix
and Zenith,
Facebook Live, and all that. That's what the kids are doing now. They want to look at a movie through the telephone.
So
yeah.
Actually, our latest paper is about how Netflix is racist. So,
Yeah, agree.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'm gonna have to double my stock with, because I don't know if you know this one thing about America, but they like racists.
They do. We elected one.
But with this tax bill, 99% of our graduate student union voted for Clinton. So we're all really feeling down.
Well, it looks like you ain't good at
like
making an investment right off the bat. That's already a bad investment right there. You see a man with golden hair and a lady who couldn't stand up to a husband, and you're gonna go with a lady? Come on now.
It just seems like they're kicking
Derek,
us.
come on,
right
now.
they're just kicking us, man.
No, I'm hurt. Now, let me tell you, that's the thing about business. Business is very rough, Derek. Now, I'm gonna make sure you get a little common sense. You're gonna need some money. Pull out your wallet. Let me see it. Let me see what's in your wallet.
There's only like $3.
There's a coupon here. Let me tell you something, Derek. Coupons is what we rich folks, that ain't even real money. Coupons, that's what we do to trick you to get you in the store.
That's right.
Coupons are a scam. That's the first thing I'll tell you. I ain't ever used a coupon in my life.
Wow.
But that's the only way I can afford toilet paper.
Well, there you go, Red. He's challenging your worldview.
Toilet paper.
Things aren't so black and white now, are they, Red?
Yeah, nah, I don't understand why you don't have your assistant rub his hand on your anus. See, what I have is I have an assistant who is not allowed to touch anything with his right hand for years, so it's very soft. And he rubs his hand right up my ass crack and gets all that shit on there. And then I leave and he wades it in the toilet to get all the shit off his hand.
So that sounds kind of
I'm a bit
sexual.
of a germaphobe. I have him paralleled.
He lives in the
Ain't
same...
nothing sexual with having your assistant drag his hand up your anus to clean the shit off there.
Yeah,
All right.
He lives in the same quarter
Sorry.
as your fluffer, right, Red?
Dad, right now, if it was gonna get sexual, I'd hold him up against the wall, grab his titty, and say, "You don't tell nobody."
Wow, you sound like you belong in Congress, Red.
I ain't gonna be in Congress. Where you go around sucking the big toe of the rich.
That's
Yeah.
what happens there. All right, so look, I think what Derek's trying to say is that this is corporate welfare. This is welfare for the rich. I thought this was supposed to be a capitalist country. And here we are giving subsidies and tax breaks to people like you. While people like Derek have to suffer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us aren't even like anti-capitalist, man. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just like my cubicle mate ended up getting hooked on kimchi. She had to drop out. She had to take a loan from her parents to open up a gastropub. Like, things have been hard, and it's just like with this tax bill, like they're gonna tax our tuition waivers, and like, what are we gonna do? Like 8 people to an apartment? We're already doing 6.
This kimchi sounds very sad, but the opioid crisis is very serious. Now, we're going to look into the opioid crisis, and as long as it doesn't affect Big Pharma, we're going to take care of that, don't worry.
Well, yeah.
We're going to hand out all the medicine you need, whether it's Mountain Dew or Taco Bell or whatever you people need. We're going to give that to you.
That's the American way.
Do you have actually any coupons for Taco Bell? Because that would be great.
I have a few stocks of Taco Bell that I could give you in Yum Corporation, but let me tell you, it's killing over in China. Wow. If you are welcome, I will have you ride in one of my private jets. I will drop you off in China, and I will let you stay at one of the Yum Corporations.
Wow. That's very, very generous of you, Red, I gotta say. But he still did not...
I'll give you a loan of 1 Taco Bell outside of Beijing, and you can take that and build yourself up with your bootstraps.
Yeah,
How about
okay.
that? And you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch TV to find out who's racist anymore. Whatever you're doing with your doctorate.
Yeah, coupons aside, though, Red, you're kind of ignoring the main crux of this man's argument, which is that he's having to suffer, or he will have to suffer, because you want a tax break on your private jet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making at most $30,000 a year here, man. Like, what are you making?
Lenny, I think you're being a little hard on Red. Right.
Yeah, well, I think Red deserves somebody being firm with him.
Well, I'm sorry, Derek, but I already have a boy who done washes off my jet. All right, he's a nice little Guatemalan boy, and I done gave him a job of 2 nickels every year. Now,
Red,
that's a
Red.
fine salary for a boy of his age.
Red, do you have your own kids?
I do have my own kids. I have a son who I do not love and who I can only leave money.
Yeah, it's really hard.
And he is a big disappointment to me.
Yeah, it's hard out there.
It is very hard out there. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know. I've worked very hard. I came up from the middle class. And it's taken me a long time to get here, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give it up. All right, now I got 9 digits on my bank account, and I'm going to get 10, and I don't care what you got to do. God damn it, Derek. Now, what do you want from me, Derek?
Red,
What do you
Red.
want, a handout? You want $1 million loan? What are you going to do with $1 million loan? You waste it. You waste it.
Red.
All you kids are going to waste it.
Red, man, just like chill for a second, man. Like, Red. Come on, relax. I got some. I have some tea packets.
I have some weed, Red.
What is it? I don't do that. That makes you a hippie.
Yeah, maybe it does.
I had a girlfriend in college, and she tried the weed, and she came back and told me, and she said, "It's my body. I can do what I want." And I said, "No, Red's gonna be a daddy. You gotta keep it."
Red, man.
All right, work it, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, look, I don't think that Red is going to pony up and admit that this is a inverted type of corporate welfare for him and his wealthy friends, who will primarily benefit from this.
Unfortunately, I have to go. I just got word of one of my factories in Zanzibar done set ablaze. The oil rig done flown off and killed 12 men or
Wow.
whoever we got in there. So I gotta go to a funeral and say very sorry, stuff like that.
Zanzibar, Bangladesh, Texas.
Oh my God! Red tender in the flesh. I am not worthy,
Wait,
sir.
is that two? Is that two Reds?
I'm not worthy.
Did your brother come in red?
Red, it's Bill Morgan, and I have goddamn plans to stay there in front of you. Get this man off my suit. Get him off of my suit.
Okay, Bill Morgan was also here, so now we're up to 5 people. In the
Lenny, you didn't tell me that Red was gonna be here.
Was I supposed to?
Yes, you should always tell me that I should have a red alert. You know how most of you liberals have amber alerts on your phone? Well, I want a red alert. Tell me whenever Red is in the building.
All right.
God, nice to meet you. Now, Red, what were you here for? They're trying to ground me about the tax cut. See, I'm greedy. Now, I'm greedy. I'm a businessman. Ain't nothing greedy about getting a tax cut. That's a right. That's a right. Tax cuts are civil rights, Lenny. Don't you know that? Tax cuts are civil rights. How dare you make Red feel bad about this?
Am I supposed to respond to these arguments?
Who's this pretty boy with glasses?
Do you guys still have any smokes?
Here, I got. What do you smoke? These are Marlboro Reds.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I dipped them in meth. They'll keep you all
This
night.
is Derek. What's his name? Bill. He's from NYU. He's a graduate student.
Now, let me just tell you. Now, of course, Red makes a lot of money here with his tax cut. That's going to save him a lot of money, but it's also going to save money for us middle-class poor folk like me.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will, and I'll tell you exactly how.
It will not.
So I haven't read anything in there that's saying that you're gonna benefit, Bill.
What do you mean I'm not going to benefit? The President Trump done said he's giving us a Christmas gift, and that's a Christmas gift and a tax cut, and that's what I'm getting for Christmas.
Well, first of all, Bill, I have to say I'm surprised, knowing your background and your current situation, that you're even worried about paying taxes because you don't even have a proper domicile. You live in your truck off the corner 2 blocks down from my apartment, and I have to see you every morning when I walk to work. Kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to really describe on this podcast what I see you doing in the morning, but you don't have a home, you don't have a job, you don't have jack shit, Bill.
Lenny, I still get these letters stuck on the front of my truck that say that they demand $100 every month, written from newspaper clippings.
Hey,
now, what's that if not taxes?
Hey, Bill. I know a couple of grad students that are probably looking for new places. So just like
They ain't gonna live with no hippies. Smelling up the joint. There's just me and the Duke.
Yeah.
Me and General Lee, the Duke of my truck.
General Lee.
Now, I'll tell you exactly how. Now, there is a disclosure that I did put in this bill that says an unborn human or something, I think, is allowed to get a tax cut.
Is that true?
An unborn human now, and now look at this. This is my tube sock full of cum that's got about 100,000 little bills in there, and I'm gonna take this to H&R Block, throw it on the desk, and say, guess what? I'm getting one hell of a refund this year. And that's all thanks to Trump. MAGA.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, there is a provision in there, I think, about fetus personhood. It's kind of hard to keep tabs on. You know, the Republicans just scribbled a bunch of notes in the margins of the bill that ended up passing in the Senate.
They had to do it last minute.
At 2 a.m. on
last minute, the liberals are all, let me read it. It's like, get out of here, nerd. Just write your name on the top.
Yeah.
Actually, Bill is right. Yeah, because me and, of course, my wife, Melissa, we had a miscarriage a few years ago. And so we've had poor little Cheryl in a jar in our closet. And we're finally going to get some tax deductions off of this. And I look forward that Cheryl's paying for herself.
Miscarriage, and you keep the remnants in a jar?
In a jar, yes.
Okay.
With a little piece of tape on the front that says Cheryl, and it has her birth date on it. October 1st, 2015.
Wow. Yep. So fetuses are people, corporations are people. Is there any other provisions as to who is a person?
My dog should be a people. I've been saying this for a while. That General Lee is a dependent.
Yeah.
Because he's dependent on me to come home with something I steal from the dumpster and let him eat.
I think you have to be a dependent. I don't think animals can be anything other than dependent.
He is a dependent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a dependent. I ought to get some money for all of this.
Yeah.
My cat's actually pretty independent.
I like you, Derek. See, he gets it. Derek gets it.
Derek does get it. Well, Bill, I'm glad to hear that you are trudging along and you're happy with this swindle of a tax bill.
Bill, can you please put that sock away?
Yeah, it smells.
This is my savior right here.
It smells pretty bad.
And I just want to say...
That smell is life you're smelling right there.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
life.
bothering me, though.
Bill, we would love to have you over to the lab at NYU if we still have our jobs. So, just...
Yeah, I would love to go to that lab.
Yeah, studying, Bill, or...
yeah.
Is he going to, be an assistant?
I wanted to study where all I had to do was sleep.
That would work, too. No, yeah, just come on down. It's... Yeah.
Just do whatever. It's
A dissertation
NYU.
on the dreams of a conservative.
Yeah, they don't do anything over there.
At an NYU, I know they don't.
Yeah, it's pretty much like community college, It's, yeah. So.
Big city liberals.
I'll stay out of it if I have to. If I have to go anywhere with Staten Island, I go Staten Island straight to Jersey.
Oof, what to say with that sentence? There's a lot there. Anyway, I think we've exhausted the tax bill argument. Bill, I would love it if you could stick around for us to talk about Al Franken.
Al Franken? You mean he's good enough, he's smart enough, he's resigning from the Senate?
That's the one.
Fuck him.
All right, that's Bill's argument. We'll explore that argument, very multifaceted, complex one, right after the break. You're listening to BAFFLEGAB. We'll be right back.
Today I am announcing that in the coming weeks I will be resigning as a member of the United States Senate. I, of all people, am aware that there is some irony in the fact that I am leaving while a man who has bragged on tape about his history of sexual assault sits in the Oval Office, and a man who has repeatedly preyed on young girls campaigns for the Senate with the full support of his party.
All right, folks. Franken is down. Franken is down. I repeat, he's down. He's resigning from the Senate.
Ooh, does that hurt to say, Lane?
It does.
Precious Al Franken is down. Boo-hoo.
Minnesota.
The unfunny, funny man himself.
Minnesota Senator Al Franken has resigned today, a day after two more women, so bringing the total up to 6, I believe, spoke out against him. The total number of accusers was 8, actually. But, the latest wave of accusations prompted more than 36 Senate Democrats, led by the female members of the caucus, to call for his resignation. And Al Franken did the right thing, according to some today. Not according to me, but we'll get into that in a moment.
He definitely did the right thing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ralph.
He manned up, and he said, I am unfit for the Senate.
You know who else is unfit? The pussy grabber himself, Donald Trump, our president. Why doesn't he resign?
I don't know. Probably because 36 million people said that he should be president.
Oh, yeah. Is that right? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Al Franken? I didn't want to get into this. I didn't expect to get into this. I'm sure I'll get some flack for saying this. But Al Franken, he doesn't hold a candle to Roy Moore.
Oh, we're not talking about Roy
but we are. Roy Moore is a pedophile. Al Franken, yeah, he grabbed a...
God bless Roy Moore. I will not have you say anything bad about Roy Moore, Lenny.
Yeah.
He's a cowboy and a patriot and a gun lover. The only thing he ever molested was the trigger of a gun with his trigger finger.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think he did a little bit more than molested, but...
And he paid his price. He's now no longer allowed to go to the downtown mall. Is that not enough for you? He can't go to the mall.
It's not.
The bastion of capitalism. He can't go there anymore.
It's not enough, believe it or not. Al Franken, and this is
and
why.
We will let the people of Alabama decide. People of Alabama will decide.
Well,
the people of Alabama will decide.
All right.
The people of Alabama, they will have the final say in this.
You know what?
Lenny, you know who decides? The people of Alabama.
The people of Alabama, they will decide, okay? They will decide, and they will probably elect Roy Moore because they also are pedophiles and
Oh, you think we're all just pedophile land down here, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I'm PO'd, all right, Bill? I can yell, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me yell something
we all just voted
to
for
your
Trump
face.
because we're a bunch of pedophiles.
Let me yell something to your face.
Now, here's what I heard now. I heard this on the internet now. That I think what it might be is that these accusers of Roy Moore right, are actually paid by the Democrats to hide the fact that Doug Jones is a secret pedophile and he was molesting people at Comet Pizza.
Well, didn't we do a story on that last time? Bernie Bernstein of the Washington Post.
Oh, Bernie Bernstein was that's a very serious way. Bernie was out there trying to find people on here. Yes, I remember we had a phone call with him.
Yeah, Bernie Bernstein.
Episode 13,
real
grand old pedophile.
Yeah, he's a real hard-nosed reporter, that Bernie Bernstein, let me tell you.
So I think
back
Doug
to
Jones
the point.
is a real pedophile.
I was yelling something, and let me get back to yelling
We
that
can
thing.
all yell. That's the beauty of a podcast, is we're all on to yell. Woo!
The point is that I just want to read you a quote. You know what? I won't even yell. Let me just read you a quote from the man himself, Al Franken, during his not-so-contrite apology. He said,
Will you read it in his voice?
well, some of the allegations against me
No, it's nerdier than that. It's more nebulous.
Well, some of the
There we
allegations
go.
against me are simply not true. Others I remember quite differently.
You're doing good, Lenny. This is a good job.
I don't have the full quote, but basically he said, isn't it ironic that I have to resign while the predator-in-chief still occupies the White House and a pedophile, Roy Moore, is about to be elected to the Senate? Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
What are you gonna impeach? Are you gonna impeach him because he says some nasty things on Access Hollywood?
Yeah, maybe we will. Maybe we will impeach him. You don't know. That's a cultural moment right now.
I wish the Democrats would try.
I wish so too. Because you know what? I am sick of the Democrats falling on their sword. Because of principle. Because we have principles. Because we believe in foundations and precedents and other things that inform our principle worldview based on principles. And let me tell you another thing. Donald Trump does not have principles, neither does the Republican Party, and that's why he's going to grab our collective pussies by the pussy.
Let me just tell
With
you
this tax bill.
let me just tell you right now, if you're falling on a sword, you're not using your sword right.
Semantics aside.
That's not how you use a sword. You don't fall on a sword until you're using your
All
sword
right, Al
right.
Franken, he grabbed some flesh during some photo ops. All right, he grabbed the tuchus. He grabbed his fair share of tuchus. Okay, fine. Where is the standard? Al Franken resigns, yet Donald Trump still president. How do you square that, Bill?
Well, I want to step in here for Bill real quick. Lenny, you brought up the tax bill.
I did.
Right now, I think this is an appropriate thing. Right? I think it's good for Al Franken. He needs to take a long, hard look at himself, what he did, and say if he's not fit for the Senate, it's time to leave. That's very brave of him. And I wish more Democrats would do that. I think they all need to take a nice, hard look at themselves and say, who have I gone and harassed without their consent, right? And so how many businesses have the Democrats harassed against their consent over the years? I think FDR is probably one of the biggest serial harassers of business.
Yeah.
He breaks in, he gropes them, they don't unwanted
By charging them like a progressive tax
yes,
rate.
by charging them a progressive tax rate. Yes, IRS and FDR, I think, are two of the biggest harassers in this country, and the tax bill takes a stand to that.
Okay.
Trump is standing up. I think he should be Man of the Year by breaking the silence
Again.
on the tax code. Yes,
Yeah.
Man of the Year every year until he
He's
dies.
the silence breaker.
Which will be a
Donald
very
Trump.
long time because he throws away the bun from his burger. So he's going to live for a very long time. If he has to be Man of the Year every year, I support it.
Well, look, Ralph, we're living through a cultural moment right now. The hashtag #MeToo cultural moment. And if Franken has to go, fine. But you know what? I want to drag all those other snake oil, slimy, gropey Republicans down to hell with him. He's not dead. I just want to make sure. Al Franken's not dead. But still, he might as well be dead because his political career is over.
Lenny, I am scared. I am very scared. I mean, I don't know what to say or what kind of world we live in anymore. I saw an article the other day, Lenny, on yahoos.com about, is it even okay to hug women anymore? And I don't know, okay?
All right.
I mean, has it gotten to the point where men, we can't even say, hey, that's a nice dress, or did you do something to your hair? I mean, if I can't tell a woman she did something nice to her hair, I don't know what I have to talk about with women.
Talk to her like a human being. I mean, about their interests.
I don't know what their interests
politics
are. I don't know what their politics are. The other day, we have an intern where I work, Lenny, and she was crying, and I said, well, what's wrong? And she said something about how we don't pay her, and she's going to grad school and is going to lose a deduction or something. And I felt bad. So I gave her a hug, and I said, oh, I like that T-shirt. It said good vibes only or something. And so now, my wife, Melissa, she said you don't give other women compliments because compliments, lead to seeing each other on regular occurrences. Seeing each other on regular occurrences means you're going to see each other outside of work. Seeing each other outside of work means that you're going to start flirting. Flirting means that you're going to start leading to foreplay, and foreplay leads to fornication, which is cheating. And my wife, Melissa, thinks that cheating through fornication is wrong, and I respect that.
I believe that is a textbook definition of cheating, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. And so I don't know where the line is. Now,
the line is to treat women like people and that they have agency and they don't need your pats on the butt or the shoulder or your hugs for validation.
So if I think of a woman like a fetus and how a fetus would want to be treated.
Yes.
That makes
You heard it here
clear.
first, folks. BAFFLEGAB, infantilize women. That's how you treat them with respect.
Treat them like a fetus, make sure no one causes harm to them, and if someone is going to hurt them, punch a doctor in the face. I think I understand this, Lenny. This is so I can hug them.
I love how we've gotten to the point where last week we were talking about the Matt Lauer panic button, where he has a button that surreptitiously, secretly locks the door of his office after someone enters, presumably a woman, to lock them in. And now men's reaction to this very deplorable behavior is it okay to hug a woman? I don't know. Is it okay to touch a woman on the shoulder? I'm worried. Oh, am I going to lose my job because I said nice dress? Come on, that's just it's silly.
Well, you never know. You never know who will be the next accused of saying he said I had a nice dress.
No one has been fired, Ralph, I can guarantee you, for telling a coworker that he liked her dress, unless it was a very inappropriate dress.
Well, what about the Access Hollywood tape with the president that they made such a big deal, where he just said that this woman looked very beautiful. He took her furniture shopping, and he said, I'm a celebrity, and I'm gonna come on you like a bitch.
Is that all he said? I think the come on you like a bitch.
My wife, Melissa, didn't let me listen to the full Access Hollywood video, but that's what I got from the first 5 seconds.
It actually sounds more vulgar than the actual bit of Access Hollywood that I heard, but, that's neither here or there. The point is,
the president got us a tax cut, and that makes him the greatest president ever. You're listening to BAFFLEGAB.
All right.
What?
Yes. Well, I don't think we're going to agree on this. But you know what, Ralph?
So remember, get out there next week. We need any listeners from Alabama to go out there and vote Roy Moore. Get him in the Senate. We don't need a liberal Democrat like Doug Jones, who is to the left of Marx, getting in there and getting a Senate seat.
All right. Well, I am just kind of out of energy from debating sexual harassment and the tax bill and all the rest of it with these.
Oh, don't forget, we're going to move the capital of Israel to Jerusalem. And also the travel ban is in effect now.
Yeah.
So suck it, Lenny. What a shitty week you've had.
Yeah. It's the end of the world, folks. Pretty soon we are going to begin the process of revelation. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some holy war action going on in the Middle East.
That's true. Led there by the boy with the golden hair, as predicted.
Yeah, that's true. And it's funny that they really only support that because they expect, and by they I mean the evangelical Christians, expect the Jews to die in the Great Armageddon.
They will have 7 days to repent for their sins of being Jewish and accept Jesus Christ, their personal Lord and Savior, before they spend all of eternity in hellfire.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, Merry Christmas, everyone! We're saying Merry
And-
Christmas now. No more Happy Holidays.
Happy Hanukkah. Is that okay, Ralph?
That's a holiday around this season.
Happy Kwanzaa.
That's
Ramadan.
another holiday. That's more holidays around Christmas.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we could agree on something. You're listening to BAFFLEGAB. I think that's it. So I guess if we're not all dead, we'll see you next week.
Out of time. Bye-bye.